Hi, it's Pamela Madsen. I'm back. I'm trying to come up with a name for these video vlogs that I'm doing. I don't know, the Pamalogs? The Pammies? What do you think? Let me know. Send me a note. What should we call these? Today I want to talk about a really big topic for me. Hunger. You know what I'm talking about? Hunger. We're all really hungry. And I think so much of what we're working with is that we don't know what we're hungry for. I've always been hungry. And I think I had a fear of my hunger because I knew it was really big. And I thought, oh my God, if people knew how hungry I was inside, that they would judge me, talk about me. Maybe I would judge me. Maybe I would think I was a bad girl for being so hungry. So this free-floating hunger, the way some people describe free-floating anxiety, stayed with me for most of my life. And I talk about that hunger, that unnamed hunger, in my book, Shameless. Here, book, Shameless. I talk about it. But I talk about it in a way that, like Rumi says, I love this line from Rumi, where he says, sing like the birds, sing like nobody can hear you singing. That's kind of paraphrasing Rumi. I was able to write that book in that way because I wrote most of that book really from a private blog that got converted. I wrote every day. But right now I'm talking to you about that hunger in real time, with my real name, my real face. There's no cover. So it's a little scary. But I think it's really important to address it and what that hunger did to my life and how I dealt with my hunger. So my hunger, big reveal, turned into an eating disorder as a very young girl. I didn't think that I could express my sexual energy. I grew up in the age of Woodstock, the very tail end of it, the last snippet of Woodstock era. I am one of the last of the boomers. And I grew up in a family that was very free sexually, and with siblings that were free sexually, and there were sex parties in my house when my parents were away. I was the youngest of three, by like a decade. And what happened to me is I saw a lot of the downside of sexual freedom, and it scared me. And I saw and heard about rapes and sexually transmitted diseases and birth control gone wrong, Dowcon shields that literally almost killed people who I love. And somehow I got it in my head that I had to contain my sexual energy. I really contain it. So if I didn't contain it, bad things could happen. So I buried my hunger. I buried it so deep inside my body. And I didn't express it, except through very traditional means, because I had a lot of shame about my hunger, and what my hunger was for, and what I wanted, and what was socially acceptable for me to hunger for. So I buried all that hunger in cupcakes. And that ended up developing an eating disorder that I struggled with from the time I was 15 years old. It was terrifying. And I could really be honest to say that on some level I was in recovery from that eating disorder until Midway Journey 7 years ago, when I really began to go deeper in and decide that the world wouldn't explode because Pamela Madsen was a sexual being. The world wouldn't explode because I had desires. That I could actually have a lot of what I needed without screwing up my life, without ditching my marriage, without having a huge tsunami happen. That I could be this big erotic creature and still be a professional, even though there were people who told me, no, that can't happen. You can't be a professional, you can't be a spokesperson, you can't be so many things, Pamela, and be who you are. They were wrong. I can. I am. I'm doing it. Woohoo! For me, for you. You don't have to hide. And you can begin to feed your hunger in ways that are safe for you to feed them. Explore that. Think about your boundaries. What are they? Stick to them in each moment. You can re-examine them, but then stick to them. Re-examine, stick to them. Boundaries can change, but not in the moment. That's my advice. So, be still for a while. Think about your hunger. What are you really hungry for in your life, and what are you not letting yourself have? Because you're ashamed, you're embarrassed, you're sure that it would ruin your life if you had it. And what if you began to take steps to explore that hunger? What would change? What would you lose? Would you lose an addiction? Would you stop an eating disorder? Would you stop lying and cheating and hiding from yourself and from your family? How could you blossom into your life if you began to slowly feed your hunger? I'm still hungry. But I get fed now, and I have really good meals, and I get to digest them and share them with myself, with you. It's possible. Have at it. Hunger. We're all hungry. It's a question of how you feed it and how you acknowledge it. Once you do that, really awful parts of your life, things that you've held on to, like an eating disorder, could fade away. So that's my thought for today. Let's talk about it more another time. It's a big subject.